Hey guys, Kevin the Comic Doctor coming to you with another live CGC unboxing. That's right, guys. I'd say another 6 or 7 boxes are either here or en route as we speak. Today, I've decided to only do 2 boxes. I might come back tomorrow night with another unboxing, but I'm so damn busy. I could only fit 2 in today, guys. So, hey guys, I'm glad you're here. I'm Kevin the Comic Doctor. I'm a comic book presser and authorized CGC dealer located way up in Oshawa, Ontario, Canada. And this is like my weekly unboxings, guys. I get so many boxes coming back now. I can pretty much, I wouldn't say guarantee weekly unboxings, but we're pretty much almost there, I would have to say. Guys, if you're into comic book collecting, comic book grading, comic book specking, this might just be the place for you. I certainly hope you'll consider subscribing to the channel, liking the content, and hitting that notification bell so you know when I go live. Guys, I'm not sure what the heck I just grabbed 2 boxes. I know, well, the thumbnails kind of was an indication of one of the boxes, and I'm pretty sure, I hope I grabbed the right one. Otherwise, I'll look kind of silly having the wrong thumbnails. That's happened before. But anyways, and guess what? We're almost at 2,000 subscribers, guys. Holy cow. We're like, I think, 22 people away. That's, I think, where we're at now. So we're very, very close. If you're on that, on the fence about subscribing, I sure hope you consider doing so because, like I said, when I hit the 2,000 subscribers, I have a ton of gifts to give away. And it'll be a fun celebration, that is for darn sure. And my son Jack promised he's going to bake me a chocolate cake when I hit 2,000 subscribers. So come on, guys. I want that cake. All right, let's get started. I already have the first book all queued up for you in my handy dandy nifty overhead cam. Boom, right off the bat, we got a Star Wars #1 and a white pages and a 9.4. Not a bad grade. Oh, and by the way, hitting that subscribe button also allows you to take part in our chat. And I go over to the chat room usually when my stack gets about 6 high approximately. And then I pack them up. As I pack them up, I go over to the chat room and talk to you guys. So any questions you might have pertaining to, again, like I said, comic collecting, comic grading, pressing, all that kind of stuff, happy to answer your questions there. Okay, so next we have, I'm just looking for cracks, guys, the infamous cracks. I don't see any on this one. We have a nice copy of Luke Cage Hero for Hire in a 5.0. It's also a white page or 2. That's kind of cool. We then have an amazing Spider-Man 300. I think we're seeing this book pretty much as often as we were seeing those ASM 361s a few months back. Remember? We poke fun of the whole fact that we had those 361s. Okay, now I don't know what's going on with this. I don't know if this is a reslab, a Kraken reslab. I don't know, but I just know that I love pressing out these Ultimate Fallouts because, man, oh man, they press out beautiful, and oftentimes we get them 9/8. Not every time, but a lot of the time. I think you guys can agree with that if you've been watching the show for any length of time. Next, I have a Spider-Man, another Spider-Man 300. This one's a 7.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could probably go one more stack high. Let's see here. Got a lot of guys in the room right now. I'll come over there just shortly, guys. The stack is going to be, oh, nice. Very nice. Nice House on the Lake #1. And this one is in a 9 point, of course, a 9.8. We want a 9.8 on that book, don't we? Excellent. Okay, so I'll pack these babies up. And as I do so, like I promised, over to the chat room. Again, if you want to participate in the chat, guys, you have to subscribe to the channel to do so. And I hope you will, because I like to hear your comments. And if you're new here, I'd love to know where you are watching from. I'd love to see where my audience is. Okay, let's see here. Let's go over. Chat window. Scroll to the top. All right, rock and roll. Here we go. Hey, everyone. That's Mike. Steve, Mike, how's it going? Hey, folks. The P-Man's here all the way from Montreal. Mr. Mike, I love these unboxing videos. I love giving them to you. Love the show. Awesome books always. Thank you. That's awesome. Hey, Marty's here too. How's it going, Marty? John Sherwood's here. Hey, John, how's it going? Mike says, hello, hello. Brian says, hi, all. New subscriber and finally figured out how to participate in the chat. Excited to watch. Brian, glad you're here. Welcome. Where are you watching us from? The P-Man says hello. John Sherwood says hit the like button, guys. That's great. We already have up to 10 likes already. Loki Monster says AQ3D. First time I've got to watch live. Loki, glad you could make it. And thanks for participating in the chat. Brian, thanks to the P-Man. Appreciate it. Okay, lots of nice sentiments going back and forth. That's so nice. It's so nice to have nice sentiments going back and forth. Chuck's here. Great starting book there, Doc. I thought so. Nice Star Wars #1. And that was just the first book in the box. Well, I better start packing these up. If I don't pack these up, we're going to be behind. We're going to be behind. Loki Monster says, just found you recently, and I've been... I live in Oshawa. Loki Monster, what the heck? Where have you been, dude? Come by the shop sometime. Say hi. You're really close, obviously. My shop's over on Simcoe Street North, over by the Dairy Queen there, and the No Frills. I'm on the second floor, above the No Frills. Saturday mornings from 11 till 1. Happy to answer questions you might have. Loki Monsters, guys and girl. Yes, a girl collector. I think I missed something there. If you're a girl collector or a guy collector, welcome. Makes no difference to me. West Texas Wheels, new subscriber from Alpine, Texas. Great show. Awesome. Love to see that. I love to see people coming from far away. That's a lot of fun. Welcome. Welcome. What's the hottest book right now? Well, I'm seeing, I said I was going to do that video on top books in the last, 5 years or something like that. I should do that. Right now, I'm seeing a lot of, I think you've already seen a few of them here. ASM 300s are coming in like hotcakes. There's something else I'm seeing a lot of. It's the usual fare, but I see a lot of ASM 300s. I see a lot of Hulk 181s, 180s, 182s. I see those as well. So those are probably, I would say that probably ASM 300 is probably one of the biggest, most common book I'm seeing right now. DC books are starting to come in now after that James Gunn announcement. I think we all figured that was going to happen anyways. Pretty exciting. So hopefully DC is going to get back on track. Guys, I'm most excited for next week, man. Next Thursday, Ant-Man Quantumania. I hope we're finally going to get a good one to get us back on track. I'm hoping, I'm praying. I already have my tickets, so we're going to see that Quantumania next Thursday. Rob Binns here. What's the hottest book I just talked about that. Watching from Toronto. Well, Brian, welcome. Not too far away, but that is all right. Let's continue, guys. You didn't come here to hear me jabber on. You came here to look at some comic books. And next we have a book that kind of changed Batman forever, I think. And Dark Knight, #1. And a 9.6 white pager. All right. Good. I like to see this. A nice copy of Marvel Secret Wars #8, first Black Suit Spider-Man in a 9.8 white pages. I'm seeing a lot of this book coming back in a 9.8, which is fantastic. I also noticed this one has a kind of I don't know if it's a miswrap. I guess it's a little bit of a miswrap, right? Because you got a bit of a white spine there, and you'll notice that the Secret Wars, the S is kind of cut off there. So, some guys won't buy the book because of that. Others don't care. I really personally wouldn't care. But some people are very, particular about that sort of thing. Next, we have a newsstand copy, and I mentioned of the aforementioned ASM 361, the 9.6. We also have a 9.0 copy, newsstand copy of ASM 252. We'll do one more of these babies. We have got Astonishing Ant-Man #1 and a 9 point, making sure there's no cracks, 9.8. That's what I want to see on those modern books as often as possible. 9/8. Not so much of the next one. All right, let me go back to the chat here as I pack these guys up. Travis, hey, Travis is here. Hello, good sir. Thanks for the unboxing. Me and my son are watching it right now. Awesome. Travis, you see our picture together from Fan Expo. I know you took it. You sent it to me a long time ago. It was in my camera reel on my phone, so I popped it on my Instagram feed. I hope you don't mind. Thought it was a nice picture of the two of us at the Fan Expo. All excited to be back at the Fan Expo after many, many COVID years. That ASM 252 is a Canadian price variant. Did I mistake it? Is it a Canadian price variant? This is what CGC said, just so you can see for yourself. They're calling it a newsstand copy. Is it a Canadian price variant? 75 cents? I always get so damn mixed up with these Canadian price variants, I tell you. I think it's newsstand, isn't it? Because if it's a Canadian price variant, wouldn't it, or sorry, if it was a newsstand, sorry, maybe it isn't. Isn't it more money if it's a Canadian price variant? Would it be $1? Because this one here, as you can see, the pricing on this one is 75 cents as well, US. So I don't know. But I could be wrong because I get those mixed up all the darn time. All the time. Let's see what else we got here. 30 people out there, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help my analytics out, guys. I certainly would appreciate that. All right, moving right along. What happened here? We got a pretty, they hit us hard with this one. Invincible Iron Man #1 in a 7.0 white pager. But I'm curious to know what's happening. Why only a 7? Is there a ding or a dent somewhere that I, unbeknownst to, whoop, as I dropped the comic? No, I didn't drop it. I see some scuffing on the book, but I don't see any. What am I? Oh. Yeah, I can see it's not a 9. Oh, I see. There's a dog ear. It's very, 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 and they nail you on that. It's a very, very faint dog ear right there on the book. And there are some spine ticks as well. But, you know, where they might give you an 8 or an 8.5 on a book from the Bronze Age or even an early modern age, on these guys, they crucify them. Crucify them. But you know what? It's okay to bounce back at least with one of these. X-Men 19 in a 9.8. As well as a Department of Truth, also in a 9.8. I believe this is all part of the same order. And another, well, no, The Nice House on the Lake, also #1. The Wanted Comics Edition, and also a 9.8. So not a bad, I think these all belong to the same order, so not too bad. We also have, oh yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of a mixed bag here. Let's go. We also have a Young Avengers #1 in a 9.6. Really sick cover here. Why is that only in... See, what the heck is that? We got a 9.6 copy of Campbell variant of X-Men #1. I'm trying to see what... Oh, I see. There's a... Yeah, okay. That's about right. 9.6 is good on that book, actually. We've got a really... Oh, look at this. It's a sick copy of Amazing Spider-Man, The Sin of Norman Osborn #1 in a 9.8 as well. Pretty sick-looking covers. And I'm running out of room, so I'm going to have to move over here. All right, let's see who is in the house here. Oh, whoa. So Brian is saying, yes, sir, it is a CPV. Okay, I believe you. When is the next comic book show? The next comic book show, and glad you asked, Mike Stewart, is going to be on Sunday, February 19th, I believe it is, and that will be in Ontario. That's Family Day weekend. I'll be setting up at the Toronto Comic Book Show again. I think Nipur will be joining me. I think she's planning on it, and we'll be there taking books in or answering any questions you might have in person in Toronto. And as always, probably this particular show is going to be quite interesting because the showrunner actually has doubled the size of the show. If you've been to the Toronto Comic Book Show before, you know the size of the show. Well, just imagine that doubled because we're opening a whole other space. In fact, I was told that my area is going to have a couple of seats so people can sit down and wait for me rather than having to stand around, which is nice. And it promises to be, again, an awesome show. Rob always puts on a great show. And he's also trying to push, or not even push, shouldn't say the word push, but also introduce magazines into the show as well. Magazine collecting is becoming quite hot, and he wants to start integrating that into his comic book show as well. So if you're in the market for magazines, there will be, I think, a few vendors there specializing in magazines. So hope you can make it, Mike. The wife and I represent Mississauga. Well, that's good to hear. Mississauga, just outside of Toronto. The normal newsstand, $2.52, is 60 cents. Thanks, Rob. Spiro, Canadian price variant would have a blank back cover. No, not on that book. That's only on those really old, and they're not price variants. They're Canadian editions. We're talking like, Journey to Mystery, Journey to Mystery Annual 1 First Hercules. I think it's Fantastic Four Annual number 2 with Dr. Doom on the front. That is also a common book in Canadian edition. Not Canadian price variant, because they were the same price, but they were the Canadian, they call those the Canadian editions. And yes, those are very noticeable because the back cover is blank. In fact, if you open up the back cover and the front cover, also blank, they are void of any advertisements. And those are a bugger to clean. And that's why I always give those to Charlo to work on, because he does such a good job on them. He's got more patience than I do. And one just came into the shop actually from James, and James, the real Hyperion, always seems to have copies of these books. Brian Bowman, okay, see that ASM 252 Canadian price variant is 75 cents. Rob Bin is correct, thank you. Mike Emmons here. That's a modern comic, yes. And again, it has about 2 or 3 spine ticks, and it has a dog ear. It had a dog ear in the top right, so. Even though the dog ear is kind of, it's not folded over, but it's a faint crease. And so they're going to kill you on that. Holy jumping, guys. Look who's here. Brouhaha is here. And after Brouhaha, Nippur is here. How are you, Nippur? Good to see you. A long time no see. I just at the shop with Nippur until around 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time going over some books. So welcome, Nippur. CGC really hasn't been consistent with the Canadian price variant newsstand notes on the label, always getting it wrong, sometimes forgetting it altogether. Geez, Eric, they sound just like me. But yeah, you're right. They sometimes do forget it altogether. I don't see the look. It's nice if it's noted on the label, but really, who cares? I mean, it's a book. You know what the book is, so I guess for some people who are really concerned that it's not. If you know your comics, you know if it's a Canadian price variant, you know if it's a newsstand edition, you know, right? I think it's more important to tell you what's inside the book. Like, example, what do you call it? Like a tattoo. The tattoos inside of a 238 ASM. We want to know that they're there. So that's a different story. Eric Williams, Nippur in the house, hoping to see you on a video someday, sharing your knowledge. We got to get Nippur on here talking about paper and any really, really specific questions you might have about, what restoration can do to a comic, or what certain procedures could do to a comic. She'll be the one to ask. Will Nippur be signing autographs? I don't know. You have to ask her. Fantastic Four Annual number 2. Yes, I have the blank cover for that. As I always wondered why that was blank. Thanks for explaining that to me. Not a problem, Michael. Luke is here as well. Hope my Gym Annual 1 didn't stress you and Charlo out too much. RP, no, man. It's old hat for us, man. We work on those books all the time. Digital Man. Hello, everyone. Hello, Kevin. Hello, Digital Man. Welcome to the show. Let's continue. You came here right in the nick of time. Lots more to share with you. We're almost through this first box and a second box to go. Let's try to get these likes up to at least 30, guys. That'd be certainly appreciated. We have a Doctor Strange number 1, a DOE variant, a DOE variant, and a 9.6. And I'll move that over for you so you guys can see. That would be only fair. We also have a Wolverine, all new Wolverine number 1. I'm trying to see what's going on. And a 9.2. I'm just trying to see why it's a 9.2. Sorry, guys. If you'll excuse me for just a moment. Trying to see why they're making this a 9.2. Okay, that seems a little harsh. That seemed a little harsh to me. We also have an Amazing Spider. I love this cover, man. Amazing Spider-Man 601 with J. Scott Campbell cover with Mary Jane. Love this cover. And this one's in a 9.6. Next we have, the next 4, quite nice. We've got a Bloodstone number 1, 9.8 white pages. We got a Bloodstone, another Bloodstone, number 1, 9.8 white pages. That's more like it, sirs and ladies. we have Captain America, #6, first full appearance of the Winter Soldier. Just looking for cracks, guys. 9.8 white pages. Thank you very much. And what the hell? You know what? I love when a single copy of a book gets a 9.8, but I like it even more when you get 2 copies, the same book, right? Different cover. Yeah, variant edition, and a 9.8 white pages. Beautiful. So at least that box kind of saved us with the last 6 being a 9. I think the last 6 being 9.8. That's fantastic. All right, let's go back to the chat, see what you guys are saying. John Sherwood, CACPV are $100 for that book. For the 252, these are some cool modern covers. I am not up on the moderns, so these are all new to me. Mike, you know what, man? I'm up on all of them now, but just honestly, I do prefer to look at the older stuff. But you know what? Here at the Comic Doctor YouTube channel, we have people who love all types of comics. New comics, old comics, not so old comics, not so new comics, whatever. So we try to make everybody happy. The next box should have some Silver Age in it. This one didn't have much. Actually, I don't think it had any. $1. Lots of nice moderns in this batch. Those hip hop ones and negative space ones are. Yeah, I do like those as well, Luke. They're pretty sharp looking comics. John says, I'm waiting for my CPV Secret Wars 2 to come from CGC. Hopefully soon. I have a lot of boxes here. You never know. Eric Williams, CPVs are $1 for Secret. Oh, I see. I think that's what. Oh, I see. Thank you, Eric. Thank you for clarifying. Let me just get these books out of the way here. And I'll grab another box. This box, I think, shall be really cool. I'll tell you what, if we make for good time on this next box, maybe I'll do a 3rd box tonight, too. Maybe. Maybe I'll do a 3rd box. Also, a little bit of housekeeping news. If you want to come and see the Comic Doctor to drop off books in person here in Oshawa, or if you are planning on coming to pick up books from me, you now have to make an appointment. I kind of instigated this only because I was going into the shop and guys were showing up and I didn't have their stuff with me because I don't keep the stuff at the shop, right? I keep everyone's books in a separate area and I bring them, I pack them the night before and I bring with. So what I've done now is if you go to my website and you go to contact, the contacts page, you're going to see a little make an appointment. And right now I got to tweak it a little bit more, but nonetheless, you can make an appointment with me. And honestly, I don't care what time you come in, whether if you make an appointment for 11 o'clock and you show up at 1, I don't really care. I don't think I do right now. It's just, everyone just kind of comes at the same time anyways. I just want to know who's coming, so I make sure I bring the right books with. So the way things work from here on in is when your books are here and they're all sorted, I will contact you with a text, and in that text I'll have a link to the appointment page, and you just go on there. And what's beautiful about this page is it's like the hairdresser ones. You go on there, you book your appointment, it reminds you about the appointment, it reminds me about the appointment, it makes a nice list for me of who's coming in and at what time. So it's ideal. No more me getting messages at like 3 in the afternoon saying I'll be there on Saturday, then my forgetting to put it in my calendar. Because I'm not getting any younger, and my brain cells, what can I tell you? Let's see here. Do you skip pressing on a... Robin says, do you skip pressing on a book that's a slam dunk 9.8? Yes. If a book is really frigging nice, I mean, really, really nice, yeah, we will skip the pressing. And of course, we don't charge you for that. But don't think for a second, just because it's a newer book, it doesn't need to be pressed. Oftentimes, the newer books are worse than the older books. But yeah, if we have a book that's extremely nice and is a shoe-in for a 9.8 as is, we'll just send it as is. Did the CGC find that comic they misplaced? They did. There's a comic currently that I sent in. It was a single book order that has been misplaced. And no, they have not found it as of yet. Well, they may have. I haven't heard. I'm going to email them again today and stay on them, but they'll make it right. They'll make it right. There's no such thing as a slam dunk 9.8. Well, I don't know, Mike. Is CGC getting books faster? Do you know? Yes, they are, Luke. They're coming in like really quickly. I'm sending books 1 week. I'm getting them back sometimes within 2 weeks. They're coming back really quick. So yeah, really, really fast. Okay, guys, let me shove this box over. Ugh. Bring the next one over here. Let me get the first one. Okay, that's not an old book. That's a new book too. We better have some old books in here. Oh no! Don't tell me. Okay, no, there's a couple of old ones in there. There's a couple of old ones in there, but I still see a lot of moderns. Remember, guys, I am set up for multi-ship. So CGC will send me a box with moderns, economies, standards. They don't care. They'll walkthroughs even. They'll mail the books back to me. When a box of 25 is ready, they ship them. And again, that's why it's very, in some cases, more cost-effective to work with a dealer who has multi-ship set up with CGC. As you know, if you send in books to CGC, they are not going to send you your books back in a mixed tier. So if you send in books that are modern and standard, say you send in 24 modern books and one standard book, they're going to mail back those 24 books to you as moderns, and then the other book, which they could have shipped with the other 24, they will not. They'll ship it separately in a box all by itself and then charge you an additional shipping fee. They were doing that with me initially as well too, and I said, well, if we're going to do this, like if I'm going to be a CGC rep, I can't. That has to change. And they were very accommodating to me. I would assume that most guys that are authorized dealers are set up the same way as I am. Otherwise, I don't know how they're doing their shipping because it's very, very expensive. Couple questions here, and I'll start showing you the books. They lost a comic. Well, I sent a book in. I think it was Adam's book, right? If you're here, Adam, is it your book? I sent Adam's book in about 5 orders ago, and all the books in the order in that box, all 125 books showed up, no problem. Because what I do is I cross-reference, right? I look for the actual, anyways, I cross-reference and I make sure all the books are there. You don't want months to go by and realize, oh, a book's not there, right? So as soon as the books get there, within a week, I make sure the books are all accounted for, and this one single book order was not there. I'm like, oh, come on. And so I've been talking to customer service and shipping, and they're looking for this book. The only good thing is the book is not a $1 million book. It's but nonetheless, it's still someone's book. So I'll take them to task. They'll make good on this. Don't worry. And they will anyways. They're that kind of company. Sometimes though, you have to be on them. What's funny about that particular book is I put it in the box, and I said to myself, I don't like sending a single book in. It always makes me nervous to send single books in because that's the easiest thing to go missing is a single book. It really is, right? And that's why I do prefer if people are giving me books, especially if they're not key books. I like to have at least a minimum of 3 books. But even today, I was mailing back some cards to one of my clients, to Renee, back in Winnipeg, and I put them in a little box. So he mailed them to me in a box, and I returned them into a box of like 5 inches by 5 inches by 5 inches. Not a very big box. And when I dropped it off at UPS, I'm like, oh, I should have put that into a bigger box. I just think smaller packages have more of a chance of going missing. That's the only thing. And so, yeah, I was a bit freaked out. But what I have started doing with my CGCing is if I have like say 4 small orders, I'll bundle those small orders together and make a pack. I make sure there's no duplicates in there, of course, but I put a pack together, and that way when CGC receives it, it's not one single book, it's a pack of books. A single book can really simply, easily go missing. That's what makes me very freaked out, but I'm, fingers crossed, everything will be okay. Hey, the Art Chemist is here. How you doing, Art Chemist? I say we do a 3rd box, John says. We'll see. I'll tell you, if we get to 50 people, I'll do a 3rd box. I don't think I've ever had 51 or 52 people on here. If we get there, I'll do a 3rd box. Was setting up multi-ship with CGC a pain? That wasn't a pain. They didn't want to do it. I'll tell you straight up, buddy. They did not want to do it. But I said, well, then how in the hell do you expect me to do this? Like, I'm not doing this for my health, right? And I've told you guys before, if I could avoid doing CGC altogether, I would. It's a pain in the rear end. I'm telling you right now, I'm probably doing more CGCing than pressing. Straight up. Well, Kevin, why don't you get someone to do the CGC for you? Kevin, why don't you get someone to do the data entry for the C? Because it's in itself is another. you need somebody who knows comics to really like my daughter can do it, but it would take her a lot longer because she doesn't know Spider-Man #1 versus Spider-Man #1 versus Amazing Spider-Man #1. You know what I mean? Like, I know the books, and you have to know the whole platform at CGC, and I pack the things a certain way. I'm very particular about that. So yeah, it's become a full-time gig. But yeah, they eventually did just they worked with me, and I was working with a girl named Bree over there, and she was excellent, and we worked together and we solved the problem. But yeah, so it's done deal. Hopefully they'll find the book. They'll find it. I'm sure they will. Everything always turns up. It always turns up. Yeah. Okay. Let's keep going here. So next we have, this is another book I see quite often. People are asking what book is hot right now. All these, Wolverine covers are very popular. Hulk number 340 and an 80. We also have, ooh, that's neat. This one just went. This was there not too long ago. We've got an X-Men number 101, #1, and mini comic, which I think you picked this. You would pick this comic book up with what do you call it? With the Marvel Legends, I think, action figure. I think. Well, there it is, right there. Okay. All right, here we go. Oh, this is not a bad looking book right here. You wanted your Silver Age? How about a first appearance of the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver? How about that right there? That's a nice grade too, 6.0. All right. I thought for a second that I picked the wrong box, but I didn't, thank goodness. We also got an Amazing Spider-Man number 8 and an 8.5. Again, if we get to 50 people, I'll go down and grab another box. You have to give me about a minute, though, to grab it because it's not here. I have to go grab it from another room. We also have an Amazing Spider-Man number 10. I love this cover. It's a great cover, by the way. With the Enforcers and a 7.0 white pages. Gorgeous. Oh, these are, some of these are Steve's books. Are these all Steve's books? I don't remember. I know this one is, though. Hercules, A Legendary Journeys number 3. Okay, so they were asking how quick are books coming back. I can tell you, I sent these books, this Xena book, I sent less than 2 weeks ago. About 2.5 weeks ago, this was there. And now it's back. So that's how quick they're coming back. That's a modern, right? There's another Xena book here somewhere, I believe. Yeah, right there. Oh, too bad. This is the naughty Xena book. This is a naughty one where they're in the tub together. Lucy Lawless, is that her name? Yeah. She was, I like Lucy Lawless. 9.6 white pages. We're up to 49, guys. One more, and I guess I'm going to have to get a third box going. Oh, 51. Yeah, okay. Keep it there. Keep it there. I'll get it. Okay, guys, this is the second box. I'll go grab a third box, but it's going to be a random pick, guys. I don't know which one I'll be grabbing. I'm not sure it'll be a book of moderns or a box of moderns or a box of whatever. It'll have to be a surprise to all of us. So 27 likes. Hit that like button too, guys. All right. Okay. Let me go back to the chat while I do this. It's not bore you. I think CGC doesn't like to hold comics while waiting for the next tier to be completed. They just want to get them shipped. You are 100% right. That is what they don't want to hold on to anybody's books. You are right on that one. Luke, that comic, cool. Ah, that's a cool mini comic. Is that with the Toy Biz? I think it is. The Art Chemist says, hey, Doc, got a question for you. I had some books pressed by CGC, and when they returned them, they were not pressed, just graded. So I returned them as mechanical error. They got an email stating that the senior graders said they would get pressed, but no grades would get bumped. What are your thoughts on that? There were 14 books. Only 4 had color breaks. The rest only had slight bends. I don't... Look, I read a lot of the boards and a lot of the Facebook posts, and a lot of people have not been super pleased with the results they've been getting at CCS. I've been hearing all kinds of different you know, things. They don't use heat. They don't humidify the books. What I've said before, and I'll say this again, a company like CGC is slammed. They are busy. And yeah, they have people working there. Lots of people working there. That's good. But, you know, pressing takes a long time to master. So if you're training somebody, you can ask Napur, man. I think she's done probably close to 1,500 books now. But, you know, it's crazy, right? It takes time. And if you just train someone fast and have them on an assembly line format or an assembly line type of pressing, that's not good. The books you're seeing here, guys, I'm not joking. I don't know if Napur is still here or not. Napur, if you are still here, I hope you can answer this question for everybody. How often, on average, how often does a book go into the press? If you're still here, please answer that. How, on average, how often does a book go into a press? I can tell you right now, more often than not, the book's going in more than once, okay? So do I think that CCS is putting books in twice, 3 times, 4 times? No way. No way. There's no time. There's no time. I don't see them having the time to do that, right? So, yeah, the fact that they're saying that they're not going to be grade bumped, then I don't know. If they didn't charge you, well, I think the art chemist, you were kind of, you know, you tried it, it didn't work out for you. I hate that you spent money to have them graded and they weren't pressed. I would have preferred that you would have sent them to another presser, like a good, because there's a lot of good pressers out there, and had someone work on them and then send them to CCS, or sorry, to CGC. That probably would have been your better move. But I mean, you know, you got to try, and you know, CGC is a big company. If they're offering a service, you think they're going to be the best in the business. But where they may have been at one time, I don't necessarily know if they are anymore. And I think a big part of that comes down to time, you know. So 32 likes, that's good. I hope that answers your question. I don't have to tell you, Art Chemist. I think I might have read about your, did you post that on Facebook, Art Chemist? Because I could have swore I read something like that recently on there. Hey, man, that was a quick turner. I told you, Blade Man, they are. Not bad. We won a 3rd box. Okay. Napur, yes. Okay. Napur is talking, people. Here we go. Yes, I agree. Pressing is time consuming. 95 books out of 100 go for a second press, and sometimes more pressing is required as well. Okay. There you go. It's not very, it's not rare to hear Napur say this one went in 3 or 4 times. I can tell you that right now. All about speed now with CGC. Well, it is. And I don't mind necessarily the speed in terms of the grading. I still am suspect about, I'm still very suspect that 3 people are grading modern books. I want to believe it. Are they still saying that? I don't know. Maybe they are. I don't know if I believe it or not. I hope they are, but I don't know. Okay, let's keep going. 3rd box. I haven't even got to this box, done through this box yet. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, wow. Oh. I think, Blade Man, you're going to like this one. Here you go. There you go. Conan the Barbarian, number 142. And that is a 9.8 white pager. Not bad. I think a bunch of these are yours now, Stevie. Yep. The Simpsons comics, 9.8. Stevie, you know what's better than 1 Simpsons in a 9.8? A second Simpsons in a 9.8. Abracadabra. There you go. Good job, Stevie. What else did you give me? This yours? I don't remember if this is yours or not. We got a Batman 313 and a 7.5. We have a Batman 66 number 1 and a 9.6. We've got The Rise of Kylo Ren number 3 in an 8.5 white pages. And again, this stack is now way too high, and I got still half a box here, guys, so holy cow. All right, let's go back. Eric says, I've heard enough people say CGC pressing is a quick press and nothing more. So yeah, for modern books where that's all you need, it might be fine, but to get true results, you need a pro. And I would have to agree with that. Look, Matt Nelson, who's the CEO of CGC, was a head presser there, and the dude, he was like one of the main guys who kind of brought forth the whole advent of pressing. So the guy knows what he's doing. But he's not pressing anymore. He's in the offices, I would think, you know, running the business, as it were. So I don't know what's going on over there. I've never been there. I don't know what their operation looks like. I have no clue. All I know in my operation and with me and Poor and Charlo, it's a slow go. It's a slow go. It's not about speed. It's quality over quantity. That being said, you have to know when to, it's like Kenny Rogers says, you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, and know when to run. And when you're pressing a comic book, because I'm getting guys give me comics of all conditions. You know, I have those guys out there that are 9/8 hunters, and they pick the cleanest books they can find, and it might have one little tick, like Steve, for example, with those Simpsons books or that Conan book. Steve's got a very, very good eye for 9/8, and Steve can tell you he does. I have known Steve for a very long time. But you know, some guys, they don't. They just grab a book, they think it looks great, and they hand it in. And oftentimes these books are really, really rough, and they require lots of attention. And even if it doesn't necessarily mean the book's going to come back a 9, even if someone gives me a book that's like not a very valuable book, but it's in rough shape, I'm still going to press that book as far as it can go. Do you know what I mean? We're still going to give you your money's worth on that book. You may not be happy with the results you get from CGC, but we're going to press that book as much as we can, you know. But there does come a time when you've worked on a book for a certain amount of time, and it's like, okay, I've spent, you know, the book's been in 3 times. We spent much time on this book. Could we take it further? Yeah, we probably could. But is it worth it? And has the book been improved, you know, is it 1,000 times better than it was when it got here? And if the answer is yes, then we usually pack it in. We say we're done. You know, and Art Chemist says, yeah, I got a hefty charge. Erod had pressed them, but but argued that there was a marking on the pressing box. It was a long process. What if you are pressed for time? Michael, Illuminati Comics. If you get a great presser, you only need 1 time in the machine for most books. 9 to 8 current. Well, Illuminati, you're a better presser than me, buddy. You're a better presser than me, because I find if the book is a nice looking book to begin with. For example, Illuminati Comics. If the book is like Ultimate Fallout 4. And it's got that it's got the polybag crease, which I just did 4 of them. Because the presser couldn't figure out how to do it. And it came to me. Yeah, I humidified the book. I prepped the book. 1 press, it was done. Okay? But I find that most books require more than 1 press. They just do. And oftentimes, if it doesn't require more pressing, it oftentimes requires more hand tooling and cleaning up, you know. But yeah, if you can do them in 1 press, come and work for me. I'll pay you really well. Art Chemist, but thanks for your input. No problem, Art Chemist. And sorry you had to go through that, man. You know, it is what it is. We try it, we hear things, and then you live and learn, I guess, right? You know, like I said, I just cracked about 12 books. I think I had it on my Instagram page. I had 12 modern books that a guy brought me to one of the last, not the last show, the October show, and in Toronto, and the guy he gave them to press, clean, and grade them didn't bother pressing and cleaning them. He told him that they could not be. There was nothing he could do. The books were good the way they were, and they all came back 9.2, 9.4, 9.0, 8.5, and the Ultimate Fallout 4, Ultimate Spider-Man #1s, a lot of modern stuff that these books will come back really nice. So I don't understand how where this guy thought that they couldn't be improved upon. But what made me feel bad about that whole experience was the guy, my new client, spent probably, close to $900 getting these books graded, only to have me crack them out and do it all over again. And that just drives me crazy. That's just not fair. It's not nice. The Art Chemist, shout outs to everyone in the chat. Thanks, Art Chemist. Blade Man, nice. 3B Man, 8.5. What happened to Kylo Ren? It had some, I know I noticed that one as well, too. I don't know if I can find it again. There it is. The Kylo Ren. Color break increases. It's got a lot of scuffing right down here too. Check that out. Right. I don't know if you can see that right here. A lot of scuffing. Yeah, right there. Huge amount of scuff right there at the bottom. It actually goes to the back of the book too. More scuffing at the top here. And it's got some color. It's got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 color breaking creases too. So yeah, there you go. There's always a reason. If a modern book's coming back at 7.5, 8, 8.5, there's going to be some issues with the book, and this one certainly does have some. Where are we going here? Sorry, guys. Blade Man, sweet. Thanks to Perm. Illuminati Comics. Most people that post unboxing CCG videos on YouTube really are novices and spread false narrative about grading being off. You can't afford me. Joke. Oh, I got you. Okay. Come on. Give me a try. You never know. But I like listening to your channel as I grade and press, which is what I am doing right now. Awesome. Good to hear. Where are you located, Illuminati? Are you close by or are you in the States? All right. The grading, the grading's usually on, they're not, you're rarely going to see a book come back, 3 points off. Like if a book's a 9 and it comes back a 6 or a 7, there's a reason for it. And Illuminati is right about that. Like I remember I did a stack of books for a client. And he had a lot of copies. There were a lot of Star Wars books. You might have remembered this from a couple of years back, like multiple copies of 42, multiple copies of, of different key Star Wars books from the 70s. And most of them were coming back 9.8, 9.6, but one came back like an 8 or a 7.5 or something like that. And he was livid. Like, what the hell? God, damn CGC, what's going on? And when you look at the book through the slab, it looked totally fine. It looked totally fine. So it's just calm down. Let's go look at the notes and see what it says. I looked at the notes and it said there's a large bend on the cover, on the back cover. And I looked and I couldn't see the bend on the back cover. But you got to remember when you're looking at a book, through acrylic, you don't see everything really quite easily. It's not until the book comes out of the acrylic where you really see the damage, right? So I started tilting it and turning it, and sure enough, there was this bend. And I remember the book then. It was this bend that was, I pressed the book several times. Sorry, Illuminati, I did. And this bend was stubborn, boy. Humidified it, tooled it. It just did not want to come out. And so there was this remnant. And you could see the fibers of the paper were kind of pinched where the book had been bent. So you were never going to get this bend out completely. There was always going to be some remnants. So Illuminati is right. If a book's a 9.6, could have been a 9.8, and could a 9.8 be a 9.6? I really sometimes feel they can go back and forth sometimes. I really do. I think, in fact, it can go from 8.5 to a 9, 9 to 8.5, 8 to 8.5, 8.5. It's a human being that's grading these things, right, guys? So their opinion might be different. I really hope that 3 people are grading. They always said that 3 graders look at the books, because I think that's the most accurate way to get a grade. If it's just one dude looking at a book going, yep, 7, yep, 8, yep, 8.5, yep, 9.8, whatever, I don't like that. But what can I say? A P-Man says, that's why I sent my books to Kev, not just for the great work you do, but for your honesty. 2 of my books there wasn't much that could be done, but 1 could. You reached out and let me know. Yeah, well, that's what I try to do. I don't promise the world either. I think that's the worst thing you can do, is promise people that you're going to get a certain grade when there's no chance in hell of getting that grade. They didn't want to give him a lot of 9.8s, if I remember. Oh, you're talking about the Star Wars books. Yeah. Illuminati. I see too many people, not you, that say a book is a 9.6, but it comes back an 8.5. I'm not saying CGC isn't without fault, but usually CGC is correct and not the submitter. Yeah, that's a pretty big jump. 9.6, 8.5, that's big. But sometimes, even just today, I saw a couple of 9.6s. I'm like, come on now. Come on now, you could have given that a 9.8. That to me is a little, you know, I really do believe that. Sometimes you can find that, okay, there's the flaw, a little bent, and it could be something. And remember, guys, on modern books, they're going to crucify them, so they will be a little harsher. Too many people discount CGC graders grade thousands of books. That's right, per week. But when somehow people that submit 50 books a year are the experts, yeah. Well, listen, man, I'm doing, geez. Every couple of months, I'm doing about at least 800, anywhere from 800 to 1,300 books every couple of months. So I'm seeing a lot of books too, and books, you know, and I'm usually pretty damn spot on too. I'll say, okay, and I never say you're going to get a 9.6 or a 9.8, but I will say expect, you know, a 9 to a 9.2, 9.4 on a good day, a 9.6, and a bad day, a 9.0. Like I'll do those types of ranges, and I'm usually right in there. But yeah, I know what you're saying. You know what? It's look at like I was talking to someone at my shop. No, I was talking to someone on the phone the other day. Another American client who's sending some books in this week, and we were talking about looking at our own books through rose-colored glasses. I've used that expression before. Our books are all 9.8s. All books are all perfect. You know, you got to really. It's hard to be impartial and non-biased when you're looking at your own books, right? But these are not my books, right? In Illuminati Comics, these are client books. So. Regardless of the fact that I worked on, like the ones that I did just now for Steve that came back 9.8, I was pretty damn sure they were going to come back 9.8. They're really, really nice. But like Napur and I were looking at books just today before we left for the shop. And, you know, as I'm looking at them, I'm going, okay, these are going to be like 8s, 8.5s, maybe the odd 9, maybe an odd 7.5. You can just, I know what they are. And some of these books, people won't even grade them if they're in those grades. But you know what? Like I said before, it's not always, and this might come as a shock to some people, it's not always about how much the book is worth. Some people could give a rat's ass about that. They just want to have their book graded because they want to run. They want to have them all slabbed. They look nice on the wall, or maybe their dad bought them the book, or their mom bought them the book, or their grandfather bought them the book, and they just want to preserve that book for a bit longer. So it's not, I know we always, you know, how much that book is worth. We always kind of default to that. But for a lot of people, it's not about that. It really isn't, you know? I myself have some sentimental books. They're not worth even grading, but I've gotten them graded because they were important to me. So, and for everybody's reasoning for doing this is different. Mike, I see some of my books there. Mike, I thought they might have been yours. The Art Chemist, great Ben 10 cover. Yes. Oh, look at me. I'm just kind of blopping around here. It's a 9.0 white pager, and I see a bend on here. Actually, what the hell is that all about? Is that a bend or is that just a fold? Could be just the paper. I tell you, man, I really hate these inner wells. Illuminati, you like those inner wells? I hate the inner wells that they have now. They're terrible. All right, let's keep going here. We're never going to get this done. What else we got here? We have The Man Behind the Mask. This one here is a Mike book, I believe, an 8.5. The Rocket Richard story, I believe. We also have a Daredevil 131, first appearance of the Bullseye in a 7.5 white pager. Nothing wrong with that. I love seeing white pagers. Alpha Flight, look at this. Canadian price variant for a Canadian team. Alpha Flight #1 in a 9.8. Love it. I love that book. I love that John Byrne cover. It's sick. But like I said to Mike, or not Mike, like I said to Steve earlier, what's better than one Alpha Flight in a 9.8 Canadian price variant is to have two matching bookend covers, both in a 9.8. Boom. Love it. Awesome. Congratulations. And I think those are actually Steve's. Books. Ah, Steve, we came so close. We came so close with this one, though. Wolverine #1, white pages, 9.6. Napur's favorite book. She hates to press that book. She hates it. Oh, come on. Fantastic Four 273 newsstand, also in a 9.6. We took a shot on this one. This one here is also Steve's. I thought this was going to be 9.6, 9.8 all day long too. Came back to 9. Let's go back to the chat so I can pack it back up again. Illuminati, yes. Lucky for me, I objective when I grade my own books. Submit about 2,000 books a year. It's not now. Just rinse and repeat. No, it never is. It never, ever is. Let's put these guys back in here. And Eric's experience plays a role too. It takes me 20 years on collecting and referring to books and guides and all sorts to even consider myself a half decent grader. Yeah, you know, it's a whole different art in itself, you know, and I even myself, I never considered myself an expert grader, but just when you see so much of it coming back after working on the books, you kind of know what to expect from the books, right? Henry, San Juan, what are you doing down in San Juan? That's not fair. You should be in Montreal, not San Juan. Good to see you, my friend. Illuminati says, I will put it this way. When local collectors give me books after they are upset at the CGC grades, I usually give them back saying, you missed this. Oh, I know. I do the same thing. I'm with you on that as well. You know, we don't want to see those problems, right? And it often isn't even the spine tick, right? It could be a little chip here or a dent there that's got like this broken color somewhere else other than the spine, right? There's all sorts of things that can go into it. Yeah, I think they're okay, the interwells. See, I don't. I think they squash the book. I think we get a lot of rippling because of those interwells. I think I prefer the old, when they just sandwich the books in between two Mylars and then seal it. That was, in my opinion, much, much better. Jacques Plante, a legendary goalie, and in his own mind, not the Rocket. Don Lockery, do you only do drop-offs on Saturday? As of right now, yes. You can also mail it in. If you have to come in during the week, I could possibly arrange to have someone meet you at the shop. It won't be me, but someone can meet you to take the books in, either Charlo or Nupur, but we have to know ahead of time because we're pressing books. That's what we're doing. We're not meeting with clients, because when you meet with clients, as much as I'd like to meet with clients, we talk, and we're all collectors, right? We're all fans, so we end up going on all kinds of tangents, and no work would ever get done. Blade Man says, thanks, no problem, Stevie. Eric says, haha, right, Illuminati, and they will probably say, well, you see what you see, and I see what I see. Yeah, it kind of goes that way. Luke, the paper quality different on the Wolverine, what makes it a pleasant... I actually don't mind working on that myself. She just doesn't like it. It's just sometimes the paper on those early '80s Marvels could be a little bit I don't say temperamental, but honestly, I think it really has to go. It boils down to paper quality, how the book's been stored, and you know, if the book is malleable, if it's open to taking. I shouldn't say open to, but if it's taking in the humidity nicely, it will make a big difference as well too. Liam, Sharon, sir, how you doing? Have you ever gotten into dispute with CGC over a grade? If so, what was the end result? No, not really. I mean, I had a client recently wanted me to send, he had a couple of signed books and he wanted me to send them to CGC to press. And I said, fine. And they came back, he spent like $300 and they came back the exact same grade. He was pissed off. He said, come on. And one was a 9.4, I think. One was a 9, this wasn't too long ago, actually. One was a 9.4, one was a 9.6. And he was very upset. That and he goes, did they get pressed? So I intervened. I said, listen, did you guys press this invoice number? And they said, yes, Kevin. Our presser pressed them, and da-da-da-da. I said, okay. So I wrote him back. I said, look, I showed him the email. They pressed it. He still wasn't satisfied. I said, well, listen, I go, you're more than welcome to contact them and complain all you want. I'm happy to be a intermediary should you need me to get involved, or if you want me to be a kind of a middleman, happy to do it. But if you are that dissatisfied with their pressing, you asked me to send the books in. I sent the books in. I only charge $20 for my time for that, right? Because I don't make a penny off CCS submissions, obviously. So I charge $20 for the paperwork and the hassle of packing it up and sending it. You know, so anyways, he got it into it with them, and they never resolved it. They basically said, you know, too bad, so sad. We pressed it. It came back the same. That's a risk you take. You know, and months ago, I told this story before where I had a fellow who had a Hulk 181. It was a 9.6. He wanted me to press it. I said, no way am I pressing a Hulk 181 9.6. No way. So he wanted to send to CGC. The bill was like $3,000, right? It was $3,000 to pre-screen it, and press it. Came back in 9.6. Now, my problem with that is this. He pre-screened it, and they approved the book for pressing, saying the book would benefit from a press. And then they charged him top dollar, and then gave him the exact same grade. To me, that was kind of low. If you're going to if I'm going to pay to pre-screen a book, and you're going to say that the book is going to benefit from a press, then it should benefit from the press. The grade should go up. Or if it's not, then you should, at least give a refund of some. Don't charge as much, because that book, that's ridiculous. I couldn't believe that. I wasn't very happy about that. And I never say anything. What am I supposed to do? I can't really, that's not my policy. It's CGC's policy. All I am is the middleman, right? When it comes to that sort, when it comes to CCS, I've never really fought over a grade before. I usually agree with the grades to the most part. I mean, it's even worth the headache. If someone's so ticked off about a grade, I'd say crack it and resend it. Look, guys, I know guys, and Illuminati, I don't know if you agree with me on this one or not, but I know guys who will take a book and they'll crack it 5 or 6 times, not necessarily press it either, just crack it, resend, crack it, resend, crack it, resend, until they get the grade they want. And sometimes they do get the grade they want. So, very rarely am I talking about a book going from an 8 to a 9.6, but going from, like, say, a 9.4 to a 9.6, a 9.4, I've seen that happen. Loki says, good to know Saturdays is the best time to bring mine in. Yes, Saturdays, 11 to 1. Illuminati Comics, I think we can both for sure agree on this. No one will take better care of your own books, usually, than you. Since I started pressing, my grades have been better than ever. However, I do say you are the only person on YouTube I think really adds value to the comment. Well, thank you so much, Illuminati Comics. I appreciate that. I'm not on here trying to really sell. Honestly, I tell people the only reason I even do this YouTube channel, the reason I started doing a YouTube channel, because I like the sound of my own voice. My wife would say that. No, the reason I do this YouTube channel is because I know how daunting it is to hand over your precious comic books to, in some cases, a total stranger. So for me, coming on here, I'm able to talk to my clients, because if I have your books for a month or 2 months, in some cases 6 months, 7 months, last year, you guys remember, some people had their books for a year, and I still have some books at CGC now in economy that have been almost a year. That's why I come on YouTube. So you can come talk to me. You can come see me. If you have any questions or concerns, I'm here. I'm accessible. That's the big thing. Accessibility. I want to be accessible to you. That's it. That's the only reason, really, Illuminati. And have I picked up clients along the way? Yes, I have. YouTube's a great vehicle to meet new people. And I'm happy to help people as I can. So there it is. But thank you so much for taking part as well today. Luke, that's unlucky. Yeah, tell me about it. $3,000. Sports card pulls. Hey, Kev, I just hit the like button. It took it to 39. Thank you. 41 right now. 48 people. Still books to see. Let's keep going here, guys. I'll come back to the chat in a minute. We've been going for an hour 9. 8:30. Oh, boy, guys. I don't know if we're doing a third box today, guys. I've got to get some CGC work done tonight. But I will come back tomorrow. I'll do all the boxes tomorrow. I promise. But I have to... Oh, okay. We got some nice Spider-Man books here. We've got First Black Cat in an 8.0, white pages, yet again. We have... That's awesome. That's awesome. And if I remember correctly, Illuminati, see, I would not have given this book this grade. Right there. Congratulations. And I think this might have been a crack and repress and regrade. Or sorry, not repress, a crack, press, and regrade. But I was thinking this was going to be a 9.6. And I can see a couple of little, and this is why I don't like these frigging inner wells. Again, I'll show it again. You can probably see it really clear. Look at those ripples. Look at those ripples. Right there. Look at the ripples at the top of the book. Absolutely hate this inner well. I don't like those ripples in the book. Looks terrible. And it's caused by that inner well. It's just too tight. The books are being sandwiched too tightly. But I'm very happy I got it. I'm very happy for the owner. It came back at 9.8. But I see a little something down here that I think should have kept this book at 9.6. But you see, there you go. You win some, you lose some. Congratulations to the owner, though. Who else we have here? 9.8, 9.8. Got those done. We've got a Harley Quinn. Annual number 1 and a 9.6. Is this one? Steve, is this yours too? 9.2 giant size Spider-Man number 4 and a 9.2. It's a beautiful book. White pages, gorgeous book. The book you don't see in 9.2 very often. And then last but not least, a Spider-Man, Web of Spider-Man number 118, first solo clone story. And a 9.2 as well, white pages. Not the most fancy book to end the show on. But guys, I am going to buy Illuminati Comics. Thanks very much. I'll be ending the show there. Let's go through these chats really quickly. Yes, those people are like crack addicts. I crack maybe 5 books per year to resub. I do a lot more. 408 Bayman says, what was there a Web of Spider-Man? Right here, you got it. Illuminati, the good news is fully expect economy CGC turnaround times to continue to drastically get better. Yeah, I think so. I have a feeling the submissions are going to are slowing down over there. The market is not tanking, but things are slowing down. And because of it slowing down, I think I'm seeing CGC tiers are speeding up. Economy tiers, actually the economy tier is speeding up, where books were coming back over a year later. I'm starting to see books come back 9-8 months later. So that's a good thing. Eric says, it's a solid voice. The beard and glasses ooze trust element. Cool, too. Oh, thanks. I need to get my beard trimmed, but thank you, Eric. Jeez, that's very nice of you. I'm taking off. Great show. Again, thanks, Illuminati. Luke, have a great night. You too, sir. Brian Bowman, this has been awesome. Thanks, so Brian, thank you. P-Man, take care. Guys, I'm out of here. Listen, I will be back probably tomorrow night. I have, I think, 3 or 4 boxes. More boxes are on their way. Lots of great books coming back from CGC. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and like button and the notification bell. In case I just kind of go live, on a whim, you'll be the first to know, or one of the first to know, and you can join me here. And again, remember, when I hit 2,000 subscribers, guys, having a huge giveaway. I still don't know how on earth I'm going to give all this stuff away. I've got probably a good 10 to 15 gifts. In fact, I've got another stack of gifts right here from Jamie out of where is he from? Nova Scotia? Yeah, out of Nova Scotia. Sent me a bunch of cards here that I got to give out to you guys too. I got lots of gifts to give away. So hit that subscribe button so you too can take part. Guys, it's been a great show. Thanks for dropping by and taking part in this really energetic chat this evening. Until tomorrow, take care. Have a great night. See you very soon. Bye for now. Later.